Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. So today we got a replay review coming at you guys. So we can introduce our two players. We have is Tolek, or Tolek as I think I call him in videos. And then his opponent is down at the bottom, Battle Romeo or Battle Romeo. So this is a 1v1 ladder match played on Ambush the Enemy 5x5 map. Lots of good expansion mass points. And there's also a good amount of reclaim off of the initial bases that you can use to help jumpstart your economy. So what I want to do in this game is going to be something of a semi mod spotlight kind of video. So one of the suggestions that I've received in the comments is for newer players to use what's called the Stone Age mod. The Stone Age mod, what it does is it limits you to Tech 1, so you can't upgrade mass extractors, you can't upgrade to Tech 2 on your land factories. You can't do a good amount of stuff like upgrade your commander with gun comm, nano repair, things like that, but you can't upgrade the more advanced upgrades on the commander, things like advanced nano repair or laser on the Cybran side or splash on the Seraphim side, things like that. So it targets you it allows you to zero in on what kind of game you're playing for the first 10 to 15 minutes, which if you're playing ladder, especially at lower levels, ladder games are usually over in that period of time because one player ends up out spamming the other player. So this allows you to hone those skills and how to play really well from the 0 to 10 minute mark without any distractions on upgrading mass extractors or going to T2 on your land factory, things like that. So as we're going through this, this game is not played with that mod, but it is an excellent example of what I think that mod can teach and why I think that newer players around the 0 skill level on the ladder could really benefit from this mod. So let's talk about what's been going on with these guys in their starts. So Tolek has got his first land factory up, second land factory queued up, does have an engineer reclaiming, and has got his expansion mexes as well. His opponent down at the bottom, Battle Romeo, is going second air instead, so not going to be focusing entirely on the land spam. Perfectly fine. Air is a valid theater of battle that players should be taking advantage of. Does have some power generators being set up over here, but the one thing that I mainly want to highlight is his sending this engineer out to this expanding mass extraction location. He has a similar engineer going down here, so he is looking to secure these flanking starting locations, kind of as it were, or flanking mass positions upon these hilltops. And that's going to give him a good advantage. I think in the early game, Tolek seems to be relatively content to stay within his own kind of starting location from an economy perspective. Commander is moving forward though. He does have, I believe, these are Tolek's factories, and then these are, these are both Battle Romeo's factories. So going to be setting up a lot of his spam in the middle of the map. And Tolek going with, again, a little bit more centralized production. So has got land factories here within his starting location. So things that I think that Battle Romeo is doing really well here. Expansion is key. Map control will win you games. But then it's about what you actually do with that map control that actually kind of puts the nail in your opponent's coffin. So he's got these two mid-maxes. He does have a land factory up here and is starting to capture these max extraction points. Land factory down here getting built now. So he should have control barring some sort of kind of catastrophic collapse. And we can go ahead and speed this up a little bit to get to kind of my point here. And kind of the reason why I'm making this video. So, little raiding party here from Tolek is going to take out these engineers. Commander should be able to take out that tank. Going to overrun this position. These tanks in the background, and there are some bombers out, so I'm not seeing any MAA. So that could actually do some damage, but so these tanks are going to do some infrastructural damage. but it's not going to be the end of the world. Battle Romeo's got to be able to pull his comm over here, mop these guys up relatively easily. So at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to get a whole lot done, but they are applying pressure and causing Battle Romeo stress and having him use actions per minute on dealing with his base. So now slowing down, whenever we look at Battle Romeo's base now, he does have a good amount of mass that was just deposited on his doorstep, and then he does have factories out on this side as well. But a lot of the production has been more concentrated for Talek here. He does have a bomber out, but there is an archer in that mix. So a lot of the production has been a little bit more centralized here for Talek. This commander is looking to be in a little bit of a dangerous situation. He does have a plasma cannon online though to help him, so not thinking that that's necessarily going to cause him any undue grief. So Battle Romeo doing a good job of putting pressure on the sides, and Talek focusing very heavily on the middle portion of this map. So from a resource perspective, Talek is sacrificing a good amount of resources by moving up to this side of the map, as well as, or not moving up to this side of the map, not moving up to this side of the map. So it all depends on how Battle Romeo utilizes these resources within his base. And so this is how he has decided to utilize the resources, is he is upgrading a mass extractor. Now, upgrading mass extractors, I'm an advocate of upgrading to T2 mass extractors if you have extra mass and you have good map control. But in this instance, I don't think that the criteria fits here. He's burning pretty much all of his mass, upgrading to a T2 mix, and he's also not reclaiming any of the mass that was deposited on his doorstep here. He seems to have lost control of this plateau, and the northern plateau he still has control over. But this is why I think that the Stone Age mod is something that could be very helpful for newer players, is because I believe because of the decision to upgrade some of these mass extractors to T2. We just have one right now, but because of that decision, it's looking like he does not have the fuel in the tank to retain control of the middle. So he loses these land factories here in the middle, and then this bomber will be able to potentially mop up some of this northern base as well. Talek does not have any T2 mexes, and so while he doesn't have as much mass at his disposal, only 29 to 31 eco gained, Talek's mass has been translated into unit production and not into additional mass infrastructure. So here's another example of what I think is an improper choice at this particular point in the game, is to upgrade to T2 and prioritize it this heavily with these engineers. So again, Stone Age mod takes away that ability, and whenever you don't have the ability to get some of the shiny new things in the game, it allows you to spend more time focusing on things like reclaiming these wrecks, taking control of these points, applying pressure from multiple areas, etc. Talek, it does look like he has a T2 mix. It doesn't look like he prioritized it very heavily though. So I think that both of these guys could benefit from that particular mod. And now we see, again, kind of as a result, because the mass lead that Battle Romeo had, it did not translate into additional units. He's translated it into additional technology and is now losing control of the map. So he'll end up losing this upper plateau as well, barring he sends this force to rescue it or something like that. We don't even have Lobos in here. These are just strikers that are going to take this thing down. We'll speed this up a little bit more. He has gotten to work straight on pillars. He does have one pillar out, which is good, and he's also upgrading additional supporting T2 factories. So again, spending a lot of that mass lead that he had gotten on upgrading infrastructure and not being able to translate that into any kind of solid push for map control. So he loses control of this plateau in its entirety. He's basically lost control of this one. He does have one mech left. But even though he's got 4 pillars on the field right now, he's spending so much mass upgrading these factories that I don't think that it's going to be enough to stop Talik here. And see, Talik now has the bandwidth, because he has map control, to upgrade T2 mexes at a more appropriate time whenever he has map control. He does have a good size army, and so he doesn't have to spend near as much time or near as many restrictive resources upgrading this. And so here we'll see the pillars go to work, and pillars are worth roughly 7 strikers or so. But as you can see, there's just so many numbers here for Talik that it's not going to quite make a difference, especially whenever he just kind of sends them straight through the middle like that. But that pillar will get taken down. This one will get taken down as well. And he's lost a lot of core mass. I'm trying to build a power generator there. But this is when, you know, you have the tanks kind of come steamrolling in, and that takes the cake. So here, good spam level, focus too much on eco. So Romeo definitely, you know, identifies kind of the problem with this particular game, and I think that some of it could be chalked up to distraction. I think that at a newer level, whenever you're learning the game, some of the fundamentals that you need to learn, things like unit control, things like map control, expansion, economy, a lot of that can be taught really easily at the T1 phase, and it allows you to build a good fundamental base on those fundamentals. So making sure that you have good map control and making sure that you're managing your units correctly without actually being as much of a distraction whenever you have other things dangling in front of you, like should I upgrade mass extractors, or should I be upgrading to T2 yet? Take all those distractions away, and you still get some really good fundamental skills that can translate to all tiers of the game. So thank you so much for Arma for reaching out and suggesting this mod. This is one that I think could be very, very helpful. It's one that I definitely could still learn from. So I'll probably be trying to do some Stone Age mod drills with Kappa, or whoever wants to actually do those drills with me in the future whenever I have a little bit more time. But I appreciate you reaching out, suggesting the mod. Hopefully some other people that are watching this channel will find the mod useful as well. I know that I've found it useful in the couple of games that I've played with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.